r/AskReddit. Doctors of Reddit, what is the weirdest thing a patient wouldn't admit? Not a doctor but a nurse. Had a patient come in with a toothpick in his penis. Refused to tell me how it got in there. Insisting he was picking his teeth and it fell in. They were almost 60 years old and taking a drug to make them lactate so their husband could pump them as it would help their fibromyalgia. Took a while for them to admit why they were taking it. That they don't know how to read. I've been taught the trick of handing a paper upside down to them to see if they can read. It's good to know if they don't. So you can make extra sure they have a full understanding of their instructions instead of saying to read the details on the sheet. I'm a nurse. I had a kid once who I needed to get a urine sample from. He was 8. I gave him a cup and pointed him to the bathroom. I went to check on my other patients and came back. Kid was still in the bathroom. I go knock on the door. Hey buddy. You okay there? Sink on full blast. Yep. Everything's fine. I go back to his room a few minutes later and he hands me a bag full of water with a cup inside that also appears to be water. I pour the water out of the bag. Hey buddy. Are you sure this is urine in this cup? Yay. My pee is always clear. PT is wheeled off the x-ray. I check the temperature of the so-called urine in the cup. It was ironically the same temperature as the water from the faucet. Come on little homie. You gotta do better than that. When was their last meal? They think they can fool their PET scan. End up losing money, time and over irradiated. Other than all the random things that end up in rectums accidentally. Drunk electrician with the longest drill bit I've ever seen sticking through both legs and impaling his scrotum in between like a really gross kebab. He was so drunk he thought he broke his hip. Denied owning any drill bits or for that matter having been drinking. Most common are the numerous drug tox screens we do that come back positive for something and everyone is shocked. Borderline offended it got into their system. Once had a woman come in for a possible yeast infection. On exam she had a glass bottle stuck in her vaginal filled with urine. Totally wouldn't admit it was hers or explain how it got there even after we removed it. Just kept saying I think this is all a joke and you put it up there. Obligatory not a doctor. Used to work PR and marketing in an inner city hospital. Was once hanging out with the ER folks when a regular came in. He was into self-harm. This would have been in 2001 or so and I was young. So I had never even heard of this. This guy had spent hours burying a Phillips head screwdriver in his abdomen, carefully working it around major organs. He was a Vietnam medic and had some training, so he could feasibly do it. He straight up said, "What screwdriver? You all are crazy." The attending was staring right at the x-ray and the handle of the screwdriver sticking out of his abdomen. The screwdriver must have been 4 inches long. I still shudder. Had a patient refuse to admit he swallowed a pen, even though an x-ray showed the pen in his small bowel and we took the pen out during an emergency surgery. I volunteer at an ER. Prisoner shoved a ballpoint pen up his urethra to get out of being stabbed. Ike. Insisted he had no idea how it got there. We spent hours deliberating how to get it out. And he just reaches down, still in his handcuffs, and pulls it out himself. Edit. You can't get stabbed if you're not in the prison. And any sort of self-harm will land you on suicide watch, which is brutal as well. Weird sex stuff though. No problem. You weren't breathing. We gave you Narcan. You started breathing again. Woke up. And then deny you used a narcotic. Yeah. Alright. Being pregnant and also a virgin. People actually believe women can get inseminated in a public pool or after their parents had sex in the jacuzzi and the girl uses the jacuzzi and is inseminated by the father. It's well known in the ER that a patient with something stuck up his her etc but has no idea how it got there. Or they fell on it. The weirdest thing I saw was a patient who came into the ED with a shampoo bottle up his butt. So, what brings you into the emergency room tonight? I shoved a shampoo bottle up my butt. Now it's stuck there. Left double quotation mark. No shame. I admitted a guy for chest pain. As part of the workup, I did the urine drug screen which came back positive for cocaine. After the rest of his cardiac workup was negative, I said to him, "Good news. You didn't have a heart attack. It's likely that your chest pain was caused by cocaine." His answer: "I didn't use cocaine." See, I was at a party and people had some lines of cocaine out on a table. As I was walking by, an oscillating fan blew the cocaine into my face, which is why my urine was positive. MMMHMM. Got it? One of my lecturers told us a story of when he worked in ED. There was a man who refused to acknowledge or tell them how a jug got stuck in his rectum. They were taking him to the OR as it has created a vacuum seal and couldn't be removed without shattering, but realized his BSL, blood sugar level, was off the charts. Really high. They were considering postponing the surgery to work out WTF was going on. When he ended up talking, he told them the jar was full of honey before it got lodged and was rapidly absorbed by the rectum, causing the insane levels. What? I'm a pediatric dentist, so maybe not the type of doc you were looking for, but this one throws me for a loop every time, so I'll share it. When I sedate kids, they have to be NPO for 8 hours before, so I always ask if they had anything to eat or drink in the morning. Parents never want to admit their kid ate or drank, even when I remind them it's very important, because if they vomit and aspirate they could die. Often they try to minimize it and say it was just a few bites. But one kid walked in eating a bag of Cheetos at reception, and then the parent insisted to me that they hadn't eaten. Yeah. I'm 100% not sedating your child today. Obligatory not a doctor. I'm a nurse. We had a patient come into the operating room for brain surgery. Probably a mid-50s guy with a nice head of light brown hair. Before a patient comes into the actual OR, we ask them a series of questions, including whether they have any implants, jewelry, non-hospital clothes on, etc. Guy says no to all the questions. After the patient gets put to sleep, the surgeon grabbed his hair to start shaving it off, because brain surgery, and all his hair peeled off because he was wearing a wig and didn't tell us. We almost shaved his hair piece because he wouldn't admit to anyone he wore it. Nurse here. Had a patient accuse me of shitting in her bed and threatened to sue me for malpractice. Keynote: she never got out of her bed. Had a patient in hospital. I forget what for. The point is that he disappeared for a few hours. When he came back, he was tachycardic to 160 BPM. Massive pupils. Couldn't sit still. We asked him what he'd taken while he was out. Nothing. He swears. He went to the pub and just drank lemonade. Okay. We say. We're gonna take some blood and find out what you've taken. He then pipes up the friends he was with would think it was funny to spike his drink. What? We asked. Did he think they might have spiked his drink with speed? He says. What do you know? Bloods confirmed that he had taken speed. But he insists he didn't take it. His drink was spiked. This one is sad. From my old roommate. Girl had a very large lump on her breast that she didn't tell the doctors about. She actually went to the hospital for migraines, saying they were getting increasingly bad. When they found the lump, they asked why she didn't say she had that. She said she knew it was going to kill her eventually, but she just wanted to get rid of the migraines because they giving her a lot of pain in her last months. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that subscribe button for more high quality content.